Good morning dear students. Last class we discussed about the characteristics, limitations and areas of application of computer. And today we are starting our lessons with the topic components of a computer system. We know there are three main units for the computer system. They are input unit, processing unit and output unit. The input unit consists of the devices which are used to enter data into the computer. Examples are mouse, keyboard, scanner, etc. Processing unit performs the various operations inside the computer that are arithmetic and logical operations. And the output unit displays the output to the user. Examples are monitor, projector, etc. All these units work together to make computer system. There are some more additional units or devices which is used in the computer systems. The devices which is used to store the output data is known as storage devices. Pen drives, hard drives, CD, DVD are examples of storage devices. These are the things that you have learned in the past classes. Two more terms that you are very much familiar are hardware and software. Hardware is the physical parts of the computer that we can touch, see and feel. Example monitor, keyboard, CPU cabinet, mouse, etc. And software is the programs or instructions that run on the computer. For example, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Word, MS Paint, Adobe Photoshop, etc. So next topic is central processing unit. The actual processing of the data and instructions in the computer take place inside the CPU or central processing unit. So it is called as the brain of the computer. Apart from the processing of data, it stores data, instructions, intermediate results and controls the operation of all other units of the computer. So students, let us look at a block diagram of the CPU unit. So through input device, the CPU accepts data or instructions. And in the memory unit, it stores the data and the intermediate results. And using the control unit, it processes the data as required by the user. Arithmetic and logical calculations are done here. And through the output devices or output units, it gives results as per the requirement of the user. So the CPU consists of three units: control unit, arithmetic logic unit and memory unit. First one among them is control unit. Control unit controls the operation of all parts of the computer system but does not carry the actual processing of data. It controls and regulates the overall functioning of the computer system, and it maintains the data flow between different units of the computer system. Second one is arithmetic logic unit. It performs like an accountant and do the arithmetic and logical calculations like addition, multiplication, subtraction, etc. Memory unit. This unit acts as a storehouse and stores the data, intermediate results and output before it is sent to the output device. So the information in the memory can be edited, deleted and retrieved at any time. So now we are going to see the types of memory. The computer memory is divided into two: internal memory and external memory. First one, internal memory. Internal memory is also called as a primary memory, and it stores the data that is currently the computer is working on. So it has a limited storage capacity. Internal memory has two parts, RAM and ROM. RAM means random access memory and ROM means read-only memory. So random access memory, it is the read and write memory, hence we can read the data on it and we can write the data to it. RAM stores the data that the user is using while working on computer. It stores the data or information before the actual processing is started. If the CPU or the computer system is turned off, the data in the RAM is lost or erased. So the RAM is a volatile memory. There are two types of RAM: dynamic RAM and static RAM. First one is static RAM. Static RAM can retain the data as long as the power supply is on. It has a long life and is faster than dynamic RAM, and it consumes high power. And the second type of RAM is dynamic RAM. Dynamic RAM stores the data for a very short period of time, so it must be refreshed in equal intervals for retaining the data. It has a short time period and consumes less power and have moderate speed. Next we are going to see about ROM, read-only memory. In ROM we can only read the data. We cannot write or enter any data into it. ROM stores the programs such as BIOS, which is used in the loading of the operating system in the computer. The information on ROM is not lost even if the power is off, so the ROM is a non-volatile memory. There are three types of ROM, and the first one is programmable read-only memory or PROM. It can be modified only once. The data can be entered into the ROM only once and can be read many times. Next one is erasable programmable read-only memory or EEPROM. The data on the ROM can be erased using the ultraviolet rays time and again. So we can erase the data on EEPROM as much as we need using the ultraviolet rays. Next one is electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So the data in it can be erased using electricity in a millisecond. So that's all with the internal memory, and now we are going to discuss about the external memory. It is also called as auxiliary memory. The computer memory is very limited and temporary, so there is a need of high capacity storage devices. They help us to store large data files permanently. The examples of external storage devices or external memory devices are CD, DVD, external hard drives, pen drive, etc. So dear students, we have finished our first lesson. Hope you have understood the topics that we have discussed in the chapter. So I will give the notes in the group. Please write the notes in your copy. Thank you. Have a pleasant day.